Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will share sample spousal visa interview questions, which example of questions that you may be asked during your interview. Answer the questions clear, specific, and truthfully. What is your spouse's name? What does your spouse do for a living? What is your spouse's salary? What are your spouse's hobbies and interests? What is your name? What do you do for a living? Was your spouse married previously? Tell me about your spouse's children. What are your spouse's parents' name? Will there be a problem with the children from a previous relationship? Did you know that your spouse was previously divorced? Where do you plan to live in the United States? When and how did you meet your spouse? How long you been know each other? Where did you get married? How long has your spouse lived at the current address? What is your spouse's religious background? What is your religious background? Does your spouse speak and understand your language? Do you speak and understand your spouse's language? Has your spouse ever been convicted of a crime? How do you communicate with your spouse? Why do you want to come to the United States? Where and how did you meet your spouse? What is your spouse's full name? How do you spell your spouse's middle name? How long your spouse been in the USA? What are your other names? Tell me about your wedding. Did you have an engagement party? Who was there? Do you or did you have honeymoon plans? How many days a week does your spouse work? Have you ever been to America? When do you plan on entering the USA? Does your spouse have any siblings? What are their names? What can you tell me about the state your spouse lives in? When do you plan on leaving after entering the US? Do you and your spouse have plans to have children in the future? Have you met your spouse's parents? Have you ever been denied a visa to any country? What is your spouse's phone and email address? How often do you communicate with your spouse? How old is your spouse? How many times have you been married? How old are your spouse's children? How old are your children? What kind of things do you enjoy doing together? What was the last gift your spouse got you? How does your family feel about the marriage? How does your spouse's family feel about the marriage? What are your favorite traits about your spouse? Why did you decide to move to the USA rather than your country? Who proposed, you or your spouse? Describe the proposal and when was it? What do you and your spouse have in common? What is your spouse's favorite movie and foods? How many times have you met in person? How much time have you spent together in person? How do you picture your life in 5 years? Does your spouse have any pets? What are their names? Do you know any of your spouse's friends? How many people showed up to your wedding? Where and when was your spouse born? How long did you date before getting engaged? What color are your spouse's eyes? Did your spouse go to college and where? Do you have any relatives in the USA? Congratulations!